First of all, Ishan, congratulations. TCS is one of the most reputed companies, and I believe that you had given TCS NQT, and in that you were the one of the toppers, that is in the top 10 percentage, and you were also one of the prime students of TCS of Prep and Star.
Yes,
So,
sir.
congratulations. Maybe it's because of
Thank you
us,
so
maybe
much,
it's
sir.
because of your hard work, or maybe it's because of both, right? So, in the case, you gave the next round, that is the coding round, additional coding round after becoming a topper, but unfortunately, your test cases, two of your test cases were not passing out of six in the first one, and in the second one, there was one time limit error, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. So again, very simple learning. In TCS, if you want to really get selected for TCS Digital via Ninja, so the additional test you have to clear both the test cases,
Yes, sir.
else you will not get not both, all the test cases
All the test cases.
of
Yes.
both the coding questions. So that is one advice. The second thing is, based upon, since you had already cleared as a topper, you did not get the chance for digital interview, but you got the chance for the ninja interview, right?
Ninja interview, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
can you tell us how long was your interview?
So my TCS Ninja interview went around for 35 minutes.
Okay, and three panels.
Yeah, so three panels
Okay,
in the same
cisco
meeting.
cisco webex.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Cisco WebEx. Yes, sir.
perfect. So coming to the first part, what did the TR ask? Very quickly,
So,
let's keep it short because we have one more video to do, right?
sir, first of all, the first question which they asked me was from the HR. First, they asked me that whether I have standing areas or not, which I replied that I do not have. So they proceeded to TR round, technical round, and technical round they asked me that have I studied Python or not, and if I have studied, then what do I know about it. Then they proceeded to the differences between C++ and Java. Then they asked me if I have researched some sort of I have published some research papers or not. Then they asked me that what is modular programming. Then they asked me basic questions about my SQL, which I mentioned on my curriculum writing. So, and then they asked me like my final year project, so that what is my final year project. So this was done with I think that it was going. It went around for 15 minutes now.
Hmm.
In the 20 minutes, I had 10 minutes of HR round, and then in the 10 minutes of managerial round and 10 minutes of HR round.
No questions about digital skills.
No, sir. I believe
How?
that sir, that in the those interviews were conducted in the end of November, and somehow they were, sir, the ninja interviews in the starting of November were going on for 40-45 minutes. But I believe that in the end they were hurrying up, sir. So they just asked very basic questions and all. And some interviews also went around for just 20 minutes.
Maybe you were a topper. I don't know, but even if you're a topper, you should be asked again. No questions about polymorphism, C, or
No, sir.
DBMS.
Sir, they asked me about polymorphism, sir. They
So,
asked me about,
so C++,
sir,
C++
actually, I was,
they asked.
yeah, sir. Actually, we were moving ahead, so I didn't mention, so I just said C++ and Java. So, yeah, these basic questions like polymorphism and inheritance, they asked me. And once again, they asked me that how can you explain this to some non-technical person, that how would they understand. So, they asked me this. And apart
What
from that,
about Java? Java, what questions did they ask?
Java, they asked me that what are the key principles of encapsulation. Like data encapsulation, inheritance, and yeah. So one of the questions in Java was that please explain what are the key concepts of object-oriented programming structure in Java, and explain all of them. Like, so I mentioned about data encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance,
Anything
abstraction.
related to DBMS?
Yeah, so they asked me that whether do I know DBMS or not. So I told them that I know MySQL and I have studied these things. So they just asked me to write a simple query to find a particular name, like search a record. So that was it. So
Okay.
this was just it.
Anything about SDLC or your projects?
Sir, SDLC was asked in managerial round. So.
Acha, so tell us about that.
Sir, managerial round started with they started about my final year project, that what am I making and what are the tools I'm using, and they just asked me to explain my project in layman's language, and then they moved forward. Then they asked me that what do I understand with agile methodologies, and then they asked me that some project related questions. They asked me that if we are going to use this in your project, how will it impact? So this question was asked in managerial round. So it went just around for 10 minutes. So not much questions were asked. So these were only 2-3 questions asked in managerial round.
Okay, so first of all the people who are watching, strangely, we've interviewed like many, like 10, 15, 20, 30 people for TCS. I think this was one of the easiest interview. Uh,
Definitely, sir.
TCS interview, if you're watching, if you're preparing basis per this interview, uh, please do not, again, he was lucky. Please do not go by that. There are difficult questions. Sometimes they ask you to code also. Sometimes there's the data structures included. Sometimes there's competitive programming also included. Definitely it's included
Sir,
if it's for
my
digital. If it's for digital, 100% they'll ask you competitive programming. Yeah,
sir, one of my friend who was giving the interview to the same panel was asked to write the code for merge sort, sir.
which is very difficult.
Which is very difficult, sir. Definitely.
Like, do you have to
Yeah.
use divide and then you have to use conquer,
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir.
and maybe you can explain, but writing merge or I can't write it. Even if I make videos about it, right? I will have to learn it from somewhere and then make a video. So writing the code for merge sort is a little difficult task immediately when somebody asks, right? So for example, how you was, and it was the same person, same panel.
Yes, sir. Same panel, sir.
Okay, so it depends on the mood of the person, right? To be honest,
Yeah, sir.
they
Definitely.
wanted to go for lunch, or they have already decided
Yeah.
that they want to select you, or so on and so forth, right? Could be
My
multiple reasons.
my interview was happening around, sir, 1 p.m. So. So I guess there may be
Lunchtime.
lunch, as you said, lunchtime as well. So they just wanted to hurry
Yeah.
up. So it just went
TCS
over.
is like sarkari naukri. They are like lunchtime is the most important thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, trust
Because
me.
because when my friend told me that he had been asked to write the code for merge sort, so I was like, if they would have asked me, then I would not have been able to explain the algorithm because I have not revised and studied at that time. If you have written the code and they asked him to show the code in the text editor, so it
Hmm.
was quite a big thing. I
Got it.
escaped
Got it.
luckily.
Got it. ठीक है. In the HR, any follow-up questions on
Uh,
that?
Sir, in the HR round, they asked me that whether what are my strengths and weaknesses, and if and what are the areas in which I think I can improve. So I told
So
them
what
about
did
my
you answer?
communication skills. Sir, I told them that there are a few problems in my communication skills, and I'm working with them. I'm
I
taking.
don't think so. I don't think so. Your communication skills are just fine. But
So,
again,
but
you said
tell them,
whatever.
yes, actually, I was taking mock
Hmm.
interviews and mock group discussions. So it was so we are prepared for such questions.
Okay, got it, got it.
So I just answered them, and they were quite impressed because they were like applauding me for that, okay, that you are working on that and all.
So
And
finally you got the result and you were selected.
yeah, sir. Actually, it was quite easy interview, and I had answered most of the
It was
questions.
easy for you. You are very lucky.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. I'm saying that.
ठीक है, Ishan. It was very lovely speaking to you. I hope all the other people would get the reference.